What's up, team? This is a video that I wasn't going to make, but I feel like I have to now. Because a few days ago, I was about to promote something on my Instagram which is further in the business realm than anything I've done so far, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I'm absolutely terrified of talking about and asking for money as a creative. So I want to talk about it. If you're a creative trying to build a creative business online, I'm sure you could relate to my experience, because I'm going to get pretty fucking personal in this video. But I'll be honest, I'm not making this video for you, I'm making it for me, and I'll talk more about that at the end. It has been a while since I did one of these videos where it's literally just a voiceover talking over footage of me doing something. Shout out to you if you watched the last one, which was last year. But yeah, feel free to just put it on in the background or just chill out and grab a beverage as I go for a surf and chat about money. And also, if you're considering subscribing because you want to see more videos like this, don't waste your time. I'm not going to be doing more videos like these. I only do them when I really need to.
This helps me stay warm in my wetsuit.
If you know, you know.
Let's fucking get it.
Like there's a little breakout here where no one else is.
Not like there.
If we take it back to last year when I made some stems for the Frank Ocean remix, look at how I attempt to, in quotations, promote the stems that I made.
If you liked this remake and want to buy the stems, I'll put a link down in the description. But otherwise, I honestly think you'd get more out of trying to remake it yourself.
I literally told you not to buy it. So I've got three main reasons why I think I'm so scared of asking for money, and we'll chat about them just after I jump into the water. Realistically, I feel a lot more comfortable keeping to myself when I've got this camera. This is only my second time filming in the water. Let's get it.
Oh, it feels so good. It feels fantastic.
So, the first reason I feel terrified asking for money is to do with general culture around creative work and money. The second reason is to do with sellouts on YouTube and how they do exist and how it's in my head a lot. And the last one is that I'm just not quite ready to be disliked yet. But we'll get into all of those. Okay, reason number one. Culture has created different money expectations for creatives versus people pursuing more like traditional businesses. This isn't like a groundbreaking point, but it's definitely worth reiterating. In Western culture, we tend to deify the idea of a real artist who only does it for the love and is never directly pursuing money. If it comes in spades and they get fame and fortune, amazing. But if it doesn't, they should continue to make things and just figure out another way to live, because they were never doing it for the money anyway. It ties into the whole starving artist ideal and how everyone's like, oh my god, it'd be so awesome to be a starving artist. No, it wouldn't. Alright, pause for a second. This is about to be a pretty sick wave.
Fantastic! That's the longest ride I've ever had. Let's go. Longest ride ever.
So on the flip side to that whole starving artist idea, with traditional entrepreneurs, anyone who opens a fucking coffee shop or a barber shop or launches a tech company, the idea of making money is baked into the name. Can you imagine not going to a barber who gives great haircuts just because they opened their own shop and are now making good money from it? Or thinking badly of a tech entrepreneur who's just smashing it because they were never doing it for the love of it. They just saw an opportunity. No, we don't really think like that, in my opinion at least. I guess the most frequent argument here is that when people pursue money as creatives, it can often corrupt the work they're doing. And I think that's a valid concern, which we'll chat about in a sec. But I feel like people often don't make that distinction between people who have their work suffer when they pursue money and those whose work actually benefits because they're able to be more creatively free. And maybe I don't frequently enough either. I think it's also been compounded by the near unlimited availability of creative media these days. You go on YouTube, you go on TikTok, you don't have to pay anything to watch unlimited videos that people have made, and even Spotify and music streaming services. You can just listen to music for complete free. These days we don't have the experience that maybe our parents did of actually going out and buying a video or buying a song. We don't associate money exchange with media. So therefore we often don't really think about media as having monetary value, and then by extension the creators don't.
How you doing? These are actually lovely for long rides. I've not seen many like this. Yeah. Quite nice.
I'm not saying that people don't value creatives monetarily. I'm just saying that the idea of being a creative and making money are two separate ideas that don't really sit as well together in people's minds as they would with any other business. And that's what's created such a mental block in the way that I act. Me and a lot of other creatives create so much work and give it away for free these days because that's like basically what you have to do. And that's not inherently a bad thing, but it means that when it comes to selling something I've made or making something with the intention of selling it, I feel like a fucking imposter. Like, who am I to charge for something that I've made or a service that I'm going to do when most of the time I give the stuff I make away for free? And adding on to the culture thing, this is more of an Australian thing. That in Australia there's something called tall poppy syndrome. Wikipedia seems to think that it refers to people with notable public success who excessively promote their own achievements and opinions. But honestly, anyone who's lived in Australia for any extended period of time, you'll probably think of tall poppy syndrome as the culture that cuts down people who show clear outward signs of success. And outward is definitely the key term there. Being on a platform like this, the internet is the most public sphere there is, and it's pretty obvious when you succeed and you fail and you start building new things, and people can run the numbers.
What's happening, team? It's just started to rain a little bit, look. I don't know if you can see on the water.
On the flip side from the whole visible success on the internet thing, I've got a lot of friends who are in conventional careers and are just crushing it, and they're set to make stupid amounts of money, but their successes and failures are far less visible than someone on the internet. So, like, valid or not, I'm pretty sure this has contributed to my fear of pursuing online business. So yeah, that's kind of like the way that culture and the world around me has kind of contributed to my thinking. And like I said, I'm not saying that this is the way that people actually think. I'm saying it's the way that it's kind of affected me as a creative.
Might be going that way though. Maybe not, Wave of the day.
The second reason I feel blocked asking for money is because for every creator who monetizes in the right way, there are heaps of creators who genuinely take advantage of their audience's trust, and I'm terrified of being viewed as one of these sellouts. When I say it out loud, I can pretty easily differentiate between the people who do it the right and the wrong way, but I don't think my subconscious brain can do it, and that's what influences my emotions and my actions. On top of that, since the thing which I'm planning is in education, this is particularly obvious. There's such a stigma around classes and courses for me, and I'm guessing it's probably similar for you. My brain instantly goes to like the dumb Andrew Tate course or the Logan Paul crypto scandals. Like, those things do happen, and there are people out there that genuinely take advantage of their audience's trust. By the way, this video from No Text to Speech is great viewing. He literally buys Andrew Tate's course and goes inside. But for every Andrew Tate type course, there's one that's an absolute game changer for an audience. I've taken multiple music courses myself, which have absolutely elevated my abilities, and I'd go back and buy them again if I could. I'm not incredible at guitar, but thanks to Paul David's amazing next level playing course, I've gotten to a level where I can actually use it in my songs. And that's all I ever wanted to do. And I'm only halfway through. So it makes sense that shitty creator businesses are the first ones that come to mind, but it's far from the whole picture. And the third bit is even more personal than the first two. I don't think I'm fully ready to be disliked. When you and I sit down and we go through this lengthy reasoning process and approach this from an emotionally mature place, I think most rational people wouldn't really have a problem with people doing business. As long as you're doing it with integrity, you've got nothing to worry about. You do what you want, and I'll decide whether to buy it or not. But the reality is, lots of people aren't this emotionally mature and reasonable. And even if they are, they don't go through this lengthy reasoning process before they form their judgments. If you've been on the internet for more than 20 minutes, you'll know that there are a lot of children, trolls, and people who will hate you no matter what you do on here. Side note, this is true for real life too. It's widely accepted in psychology that in any given population, a certain percentage will have personality disorders that relate to psychopathy, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and sadism. It's just statistics. And that, in normal person talk, means that wherever you go, there will always be people who suck. So no matter how right or wrong I do things or you do things, the second you start selling things to people, you're going to get a lot more haters. And that's just a fact. I'll be the first one to say that I've still got a long way to go before I'm completely fine with being disliked by a lot of people. Since you guys in this community I built is so incredible, there are so few negative comments that the small few that exist probably affect me a lot more than other creators who deal with negativity on a regular basis. But I think I need to become okay with it. because I really think that it's something you need to experience before you can actually move through it. So from another part of my life, I want to bring in this way of framing this, which makes getting openly disliked a lot more inviting as an idea. And I describe this epiphany a bit more in my newsletter, but in short, view it as a filter. If you conduct yourself with integrity and you're open about your intentions, you lose nothing from any rejections or hate, because those people simply get filtered out of your community. That ends up benefiting you. You're not losing good people, you're bringing the bad ones to the surface and filtering them out. I've applied this idea in other areas of my life, and I've only recently realized how much I need to apply it here. So, this definitely felt like a bit of a therapy session with me. So why did I make it? Surely I could have just written it down and reaped the benefits from working through all these ideas in my head without having to share it with the entire internet. Well, I thought so too. So I wrote a newsletter that's a slightly more concise version of this video. Didn't send it because I thought it had done its job by helping me work through this. A week later, I was procrastinating talking about what I'm working on in a literal Instagram story. Like I said at the start, I'm not going to pretend that I'm sharing this video for you. If it helps you, great. But I'm sharing this video because I hope that being radically open with you guys will give me the confidence I need to be unapologetic when I promote the things that I'm selling going forward. It'll give me the confidence that the real OGs, the ones like you who watch even the most obscure videos I make, like this one, are completely up to speed with where I'm coming from and don't feel alienated when I promote stuff. But you never see most businesses talking about this shit, and I'm pretty sure it's because it's not in their best interests to. There's a reason why there's so much covert and shady sus business practices that go on in big corporations, because it's probably pretty lucrative. But in this case, I'm going to hope that the relief that I feel from sharing this stuff outweighs any potential monetary gain that I would get from being covert. So now, it's time for me to promote some stuff. I said it a little bit in my last video, but here's what I'm planning. I'm planning on doing some music production classes over Zoom. Initially ones where you pay individually for each class, and then maybe I'll be billing them as groups or subscriptions going forward. I've also got some other ideas for the future which we can chat about when we get there. One of the major advantages of building like a business like this on the side is that it allows me to continue to make creative videos like the ones I've been doing recently, where the intention is more to inspire than to educate, and they're not the type of video that gets heaps of views. Like, I'm not stupid. I know what videos do better than these ones, and I know what I would do if I wanted more views. But I love making these ones more, and if I can build something alongside them to pay the bills, I won't have to chase views. And these are all still just ideas, but they're becoming a little bit more clear in my head. So to start things off on the right foot with this business, I know that I'm new to teaching and I want to make sure that the first students get all the value that they need. So I'm going to do this thing where every student in my first class is going to get a free 30-minute one-on-one call after the group session to plug any holes that I missed. This will only happen for the first session, and I'm hoping that doing that will help me learn what I missed and help me make the second class 1,000 times better. And the beauty of this is that it's for a very niche part of my audience who wants to learn how to make music like me and has the money to spend on this sort of thing. So it's not for the vast majority of you, and chances are if you're watching this, it's not for you. And that's okay. If you see me promoting stuff and you don't think it's actually for you, don't worry. I don't expect anything from you. If you do, however, think that's something you'd be interested in, I'll leave the link to the waitlist in the description or on the screen right now. So that's it. There's my radical openness. It feels a bit strange, but I also do hope that it did help you if you're a creative who is blocked, because I'm sure that I can't be the only creative who just feels like an imposter asking for money. And hopefully you enjoyed watching me go for a surf. I'm not very good at all. But I love it. These waves look a lot smaller than they are in real life. Actually, they weren't very big, but they look non-existent in this footage. But I had an absolute blast, and earlier on you saw that I caught like one of the longest waves in my life. I am kind of getting to the end of this and realizing, holy shit bro, it's not that deep. And I'm sure most people don't need to write out an entire essay before they can take any action. But apparently I do, and it was kind of cathartic to write this out anyway. So yeah.
That's fun. I hope voiceover Seb said some interesting stuff.